So now we're going to start seeing how to actually use Microsoft Excel. We're moving into a new section here. This new section is called Getting Started. And in this video, we're going to learn about workbooks and worksheets. And so that's going to be new terminology for you. You're going to learn about what a workbook is and what worksheets are. And you're going to gain some new skills. And those skills are going to be, how do you start Excel? How do you save a file? How do you close Excel? How do you open a file? So that's what we're going to see in this video. And we've already seen some of this stuff before. The first thing we do if we want to start Excel is in Windows, we could come right down here, and in the search area, we type in Excel. If you are working on a Mac, it's very similar. There's something called Finder, and in Finder, you get there by up in your top right area of your computer screen, or easiest way is pressing Command on your keyboard, spacebar brings up Finder, and you just type in Excel, just like I typed in Excel right here. Alternatively, you could click this little icon right here, and you could come into all of the applications. So I could scroll, and here is under E, Excel 2016. So I could click that. When I click that, it's not going to open up a workbook immediately. And we'll learn what a workbook is in just a second. It's going to give me some choices, some options. So here are some recent files that I've opened, right? So if I wanted to open a recent file, those are listed right here. I could choose to open other workbooks, and it's going to bring up the recent or OneDrive, and we'll learn about what that is. Or I could click Browse, and then that's going to open up a dialog box that I can use to browse on my computer. So I could expand this if I want. When I move my mouse down to that bottom corner, I get that arrow. I could expand this, and I could look on my computer, either in Documents or on this PC, or, anywhere in here. I could start looking around for whatever file I want to open. So I'm going to hit back. And this is the window that comes up when you open up Microsoft Excel. You can also click any of these tiles over here, these icons over here. And these are templates. And we'll learn how to use templates later in this course. But if I wanted to do an academic calendar or a back to school planner, right, they have pre-built workbooks for you that you could click on, and it's already designed, and you just start using it and customizing it for yourself. But the main option that I always go to when I'm starting a new Excel project is just a blank workbook right here. So I click blank workbook, and that opens up this blank workbook. Now what you see here is this grid, and we're going to learn all what this grid is in a second, but this grid is a spreadsheet. So all this stuff here, these columns and these rows, this is a spreadsheet, and it's known as a worksheet. So we're learning some terminology, and the terminology we're learning is a workbook. When you create a new Excel file, you're creating a workbook, and inside that workbook, you're going to have worksheets. This is sheet 1. I could click sometimes these arrows to see if there's more. I click this plus sign and gives me sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5. And so those are the worksheets, and I could have as many worksheets as I want, and I could right click with my mouse, press the right side of the mouse, the right button on the mouse. I could right click and I could choose delete. So I could delete those sheets, and when I do that, it gets rid of them. So that's getting rid of sheets. So workbook, which is what this is, and it's called Book 1 Excel. You can see that right up here at the top. This is a workbook. A workbook has worksheets, and these worksheets are all this tabular data right here. So workbook is made up of worksheets. When I'm ready to save my file, I could click this save icon right there. The shortcut key is Control S. You could see that also being displayed. Or I could go to File and choose Save or Save As. First time I save it, it's going to give me Save As anyhow. And I'm going to choose to save this on this PC right here. And I could choose one of those, or I could browse. I like this browse option. Some ways I think there's too many options now, right? It makes it confusing for people. But then I could say, okay, I want to save this in Documents, and I'll call this workbook My First Workbook. My First Workbook. And since we are doing this let me look at my files here. We're in 001. This is in 011 is the video that we're doing. So 011, I'm going to give it that prefix and save it in Documents. So that is now saved, and you can see it's 011 My First Workbook .xlsx. That's the file extension at the end there. So this is my workbook, and it's got worksheets. When I'm ready to close this, I just hit this X up in the top right corner, and I close the window. When I'm ready to open that file, I'm going to come over here. I could find it. I could double click it. That will open the file. So that file is now open. Or if I was in Excel, I could just do it this way. Go to Excel, choose Excel, and it's going to say, hey, do you want this most recent one? I could click it right there. Or I could choose Open Other Workbooks, come here, and then I could see it on that list there, or I could choose to browse, go to Documents, find it right there, hit Open, and that's another way to do it. So all those ways are ways you can open different Excel workbooks. So that's how you start Excel, that's how you save a file, that's how you close Excel, and that's how you open a file. And I'm saying a file because it's just a file, but you could also be saying here a workbook file, because that workbook is going to have inside of the workbook, it's going to have a bunch of worksheets. So if I wanted to, that could also just be a workbook file, right? But colloquially speaking, the way people often refer to it is like, hey, where's your Excel file? Where's your Excel file? So I'm just going to leave that as file. So that's a little bit about workbooks and worksheets. A workbook has worksheets in it, how you open Excel, save a file, close Excel, and then how you could open that file again once you've done that.